My dear student of class 9A and 9B, today I am going to teach you about the following lesson, lesson number 8, the Delhi Sultanate. Here there are some, points mentioned in my board. Point number 1, main features of Qutub Minar. Second one, establishment of the Sultanate, Delhi Sultanate. Third point, Muhammad Ghori. And fourth point, Prithviraj Chauhan. The first one, main features of Qutub Minar. You know, my dear students, Qutub Minar was constructed by Qutubuddin. The construction work of Qutub Minar was started during the rule of Qutubuddin Aibak, who was known as the founder ruler of the Slave dynasty or Mamluk dynasty or the Delhi Sultanate. Qutubuddin Aibak started the construction work of Qutub Minar in order to commemorate the image of Khaja Qutubuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki. Who was Khaja Qutubuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki? He was a great Sufi saint who came to India at the time when Muhammad Ghori invaded India, and afterwards he remained in India, and the people of India they also respected him a lot, and he gained popularity, he gained respect from the people of India. So, in order to commemorate the image of that noble-hearted person, a great person, Khaja Qutubuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki, Muhammad Ghori started the construction work of a mosque in the name of, Muhammad Ghori started construction work of Qutub Minar. Qutub Minar was constructed in order to commemorate the image of Khaja Bakhtiyar Kaki. And now I am going to discuss about the characteristic features of the Qutub Minar. Qutub Minar was constructed during the reign of, Qutub Minar was not constructed during the reign of Qutubuddin Aibak. Qutubuddin Aibak died, and then the remaining part of the construction work was completed by his son-in-law Iltutmish, my dear students. And now, what are the main features of Qutub Minar? There are certain features of the Qutub Minar. The circular tower of the Minar rises to a height of 72.5 meters. And next one, it was dedicated, as I told you, to the Sufi saint Qutubuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki. And next one, it originally consisted of four stories, but the top stories was destroyed due to lightning, and then later on, Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, later on, another ruler of the Delhi Sultanate, Firuz Shah Tughlaq, constructed more two stories, but the last two stories were not used because Firuz Shah Tughlaq constructed it with a view to allow the muazzin to recite the prayer or azan from there. But later on, it was decided that the sound of azan of muazzin from the top two stories would not reach. People would be unable to hear the prayer of the muazzin. That's why the two stories left vacant. And but it was the purpose, whatever was there, it seemed to be symbolic. The entrance to the tower is through the doorways on the northern side. The northern side, where Alai Darwaja was there, which was constructed by Alauddin Khilji. And afterwards, the minar has well decorated. The minar was well decorated. Numerous inscriptions in Arabic and Nagari characters also were there in the minar. Red sandstone was used, marble was used, grey quartz was used while constructing the minar, while constructing the minar, and construction work also was done, uh, just like war or fighting or struggling, war was going on. So it was an emergency purpose. The construction was completed within very short period, and it is the tallest stone tower in India. It is said that it is the tallest stone tower in India. It is the tallest stone tower in India. Which one? The Qutub Minar. The Qutub Minar is the tallest stone tower in India. Now, the establishment of the Delhi Sultanate. Establishment of the Delhi Sultanate. Our next point: establishment of the Delhi Sultanate. You know, in my previous class, I discussed about the establishment of the Delhi Sultanate. What were the factors and what was about the circumstances, the factors were there. The Delhi Sultanate was established. It was due to the effort of Qutbuddin Aibak. The Delhi Sultanate was established. How? Because Muhammad Ghori came to India to invade our country. When Muhammad Ghori came to India, Qutbuddin Aibak also was with him, because Qutbuddin Aibak was the slave of Muhammad Ghori. But the time when Muhammad Ghori came to India and fought against Indian ruler Prithviraj Chauhan in the first battle of Tarain, Muhammad Ghori was defeated and Prithviraj Chauhan won the battle. But he somehow managed to protect his life and left the battlefield and reached his own place, Afghanistan. But next year, once again, Muhammad Ghori came, and Qutbuddin Aibak also came with him because of his fortune. Muhammad Ghori treated Qutbuddin Aibak as a lucky one, because since Qutbuddin Aibak was with him, Muhammad Ghori was able to leave the battlefield and reached his own country. That's why he considered Qutbuddin as a lucky one. That's why next time when once again he came to fight against Prithviraj Chauhan, Qutbuddin Aibak also was with him. The well-disciplined army came with Muhammad Ghori, and Muhammad Ghori defeated in the second battle of Tarain Prithviraj Chauhan. Prithviraj Chauhan was defeated in the second battle of Tarain, and Muhammad Ghori was able to capture certain places of India. And while leaving the place, he appointed Qutbuddin Aibak as the governor of the places he occupied. So afterwards, Qutbuddin remained in India as the assistant of Muhammad Ghori. In course of time, Qutbuddin Aibak established the Mamluk dynasty or the slave dynasty, and later on it came to be known as the Delhi Sultanate. So it is the history of the foundation of the Delhi Sultanate done by Qutbuddin Aibak. Our next point: establishment of the Delhi Sultanate. Next point: Muhammad Ghori. Who was Muhammad Ghori? Muhammad Ghori was actually a ruler of Afghanistan. He captured many places of Ghazni, and from there he came to India to plunder Indian wealth. But ultimately he had to face Prithviraj Chauhan. Muhammad Ghori, from the very beginning, had no intention to defeat any Indian ruler and to capture Indian territory, some territories of India. He came to India with a view to invade this country and plunder its wealth and go back to his own country. But the time when he came, he was forced to face one Indian ruler, Prithviraj Chauhan, because Prithviraj Chauhan challenged the authority of Muhammad Ghori. Muhammad Ghori was a brave ruler. Muhammad Ghori accepted the challenge of Prithviraj Chauhan, but ultimately and unfortunately, Muhammad Ghori was defeated by Prithviraj Chauhan in the first battle of Tarain. But in the second battle of Tarain, Muhammad Ghori once again came to India with full preparation and motivated the soldiers under him. They all came with him with full preparation and were determined to defeat Prithviraj Chauhan in the second battle of Tarain. Finally, Prithviraj Chauhan was defeated. Muhammad Ghori won the battle. So this is the history of the two battles, the first Tarain, Battle of Tarain, and the second Battle of Tarain, battle between the two rulers, Muhammad Ghori and Prithviraj Chauhan. And next point, Prithviraj Chauhan. Prithviraj Chauhan belonged to India, although he belonged to the category Rajput, yet he had to consider a defeat against Muhammad Ghori. Why? Because of his technical mistake. What technical mistake once? What technical mistake later? Napoleon Bonaparte committed during the war between France and England. The same technical mistake we followed the time when Prithviraj Chauhan fought against whom? Against Muhammad Ghori. Muhammad Ghori, my dear students, in the first battle of Tarain was able to leave the battlefield. He was able to leave the battlefield. How? If he was unable to leave the battlefield, it was sure he would be killed by Prithviraj Chauhan. But he was a fortunate one to have fled from there, escaped, and was able to reach his own place, Afghanistan. But the same technique and method should have been followed by Prithviraj Chauhan. Prithviraj Chauhan was unable to arrest him, so he left the battlefield and somehow managed him and once again came and defeated Prithviraj Chauhan. But the time when Prithviraj Chauhan was defeated, immediately Muhammad Ghori ordered his men, arrest that person, immediately arrest. Leave all the works and immediately arrest that person. Who was he? He was Prithviraj Chauhan. As soon as Prithviraj Chauhan was defeated, Muhammad Ghori ordered his men to arrest Prithviraj Chauhan, immediately arrest that very person, and he present before me. I would like to see him. Then he took back to his own place, and while going there, he was tortured. A number of weapons also were applied on his body, and we created a number of wounds over his body. And while going to the place of Muhammad Ghori, Prithviraj Chauhan left his last breath, my dear students. A very miserable history of Prithviraj Chauhan, which was written by, the famous writer once in the book Prithviraj Rasho. One writer, Solukha, written Prithviraj Raso, the famous book, Prithviraj Raso, a battle between Prithviraj Chauhan and whom? Muhammad Ghori. So, this is the history of Delhi Sultanate. The other part of also I shall discuss with you later. And up to this today's discussion, thank you, my dear.